Oh my gosh, can you believe we are already in chapter 9? Man, this class is flying. Today we're going to be diving in, like I said, to chapter 9, sales promotions, publicity, and public relations. Let's take a look there on page 202, and let's talk about introduction to sales, promotion, publicity, and public relations. Sales promotions provide special incentives for customers to patronize an establishment. So it's going to encourage people to come into your establishment. That's what a sale promotion is. It is targeting those you want to come in, and you're offering them a sale, a good deal, a great bargain, things like that. Publicity is information about an establishment that is distributed for free but is not produced by the operation. So publicity is where, let's say on Facebook, you're being tagged. Your business is being tagged by a customer who gave a review and said all these amazing things about the service or the menu or the food or whatever they got from your establishment. So publicity is that free advertisement, and that's what you want. You want your friends to share with your friends, to share with their friends, because that helps you out without spending dollars out of your pocket. Now, public relations is part of an establishment's communication activities that addresses the operation's image in its community. A lot of establishments will have a public relations representative. The main reason they do that is so that the message is consistent, and that the opinions of different employees or different people aren't conflicting each other. Now, you can have public relations, but it really is to get you out into the community or to speak to your community at large. If public relations means managing all communications between an organization and the public it serves. Actors and high-profile sports professionals, like I said, they have a person or a firm that manages their public relations, their image to the community or to those that that they're targeting. Okay, so keep that in mind. One challenge facing managers is knowing whether or not to engage in a PR activity when there is no expectation of significant publicity resulting from the activity. So, and that is a challenge. Do you want to be a part of and put all of the work into if it's not technically going to reach those that may come into your establishment? Is it going to help your bottom line? Is it going to increase your covers or increase the people coming into your establishment? Components of marketing communication, you can take a look at those, Exhibit 9.2. Advertising, marketing message, content that is paid for and controlled by the business. The personal selling, that is the face-to-face sales promotion. That would be like your BOGO. It has an incentive. Publicity is content that is free, not controlled by you. And guess what? It can be positive or negative. Let's think about reviews. If you were to have this famous magazine review critic that comes in and gives a review of your menu, excuse me, or the item they purchased off of your menu, guess what? If they don't like it, I mean, we've all seen horror stories about that. If they don't like it, they slam you in their magazine, and then it can adversely affect your establishment. Or the opposite of that. They can come in, they can love your menu, love what they had, and just rave about your establishment. So it can go either way. It can work for you, or it can be damaging. Public relations, basically it manages the public's perception of your business. So definitely understand some of the differences between those. Let's look at sales promotions in particular. Sales promotion. Those are your advertisements of your sales, your BOGOs, things like that. Identify the promotion objective. Is it going to get rid of or let's see, is it going to use up, I'm trying to put this into a culinary industry perspective. You got a great deal on buying a whole cow versus buying prepackaged individual meat. So you have an abundance of a beef product. Are you going to, before it spoils or goes out of date or whatever, are you going to create a sales promotion where you're advertising a dish that contains that so that you can use it, get it, before it goes bad? That would be a great way to think of that. You got to develop the promotion. You've got to create the supporting material. You got to create the ad. And then you got to inform and train your staff prior to the promotion's implementation. You got to advertise externally, internally, implement the promotion, monitor its effectiveness. Again, you have to have measurable, you've got to have some way to measure it. And then take corrective action if needed. Sales promotion objectives. Here's a few objectives there. It can build brand awareness, increase short-term revenues, your sales, build long-term market share, introduce a new product, introduce new service, entice customers away from your competitors. Again, I can't stress to you how your competitors play a role in. You can be the best chef in the world and have the best steak in the world, but if your competitor has something just as comparable and is cheaper, they're going to go down there. So you need to keep your competitors in mind. And also, you can reward your loyal customers. Now, the manager could apply one or more objective measures to test the success of a promotion, and you can read that there. Number of promotional items sold, the increase in revenue, the increase or decrease in your check average, your covers, new guests. If you have more new guests during the promotion, total guests served, your covers. Guests served during a defined time period that follows the conclusion of a promotion. Number of promotional items sold during a defined time period that follows the conclusion of the promotion. So those are some sales promotion objectives and how you can measure them. Now let's look at the sales promotion strategies. There are a variety of sales promotion strategies managers can use in their marketing efforts. If you look there on page 205, Exhibit 9.3, there are several methods there along with the description and the incentive to the customer. Let's look at special pricing. Limited time. Reduced prices implementing through special deals, coupons, or other programs. This is saving on an item. Low risk opportunity to try a new item. If it's on sale, your customer is more than likely to say, hey, you know what? That $10 isn't going to break my bank. If I like it, that's great. If I don't, oh well, I'm not out a whole lot. I'm not going to go down each and every one of these because they break them out to sell pricing, frequent dining programs. We know what most of these are. If you don't, please read that. Well, actually, you should be reading your entire chapter. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Premiums. Premiums are merchandise offered to customers for free or for a low price as an incentive to purchase a product. Okay. Special events are one-time or periodic occasions that provide a special incentive for customers to patronize or to come into an establishment. Early bird special, does that ring a bell? That's what rings a bell with me, early bird special. Or Happy hour. That's another one. Happy hour. Samples. Oh my gosh. Let's not think about the makeup counter at your favorite department store. They give out samples of makeup and perfume. That definitely. Or you may have an appetizer sample during happy hour that would encourage purchases of your appetizers or your apps on the menu. Or you may be introducing a new app and appetizer, and you give out samples. So anyway, contestants and sweepstakes, publisher clearinghouse. I've entered into those, I will admit, and then my mailbox was flooded. So anyway, those are a great way of maybe reaching out, and some of the strategies that people use to bring in or elevate sales or whichever. Let's now look at implementing sales promotions. Okay, that's pretty important. You need to delegate who's going to be responsible, what elements are going to be involved, who's responsible for marketing the promotion, for the marketing part of it, how many staff members are needed to execute it. That's if you're having an event. What materials and supplies are needed for an event or a promotion? Who's responsible for working with the suppliers to obtain the material? You didn't think about that. That somebody's got to make sure that all of the supplies are there that are needed. What are specific deadlines associated with the promotion, or such as the mailing list, printing, sending invitations? So, you definitely, again, there's a roadmap or a plan to everything. If you know you're going to be having an event or a special, you have to start working way ahead of time. You have to, get your invitations or get your flyers, and you have to set a timeline. When are those going to go out prior to your event? When, so that people have time to get your flyer or your little, what am I thinking of? Your invitation, so that they're aware that your event or your promotion's even going on. You have to create a timeline for that, okay? Let's talk about marketing, sales, promotion, external marketing. All right, external would be like your signage, your flyers, your trinkets, carry out door hanger menus, your shirts, your apparel, your point of purchase materials. All right, so you may have things right then and there that people can buy that have your logo on it, merchandising material. You can read through that. Internal is internal marketing of sales. Internal marketing of sales promotions. Okay. You need to identify the goals. All right, of your POP and POS materials. All right, you need to identify the goals and the materials. You also need to produce your POP and POS materials. All right, they can be hung or displayed, and if you're wondering what I'm talking about, that is your let me find it here. Let me find it. Y'all are gonna laugh. There it is, right there. If you look in the middle of 212, all right, page 212, the second paragraph tells you what a POP is. That's point of purchase, or your point of sale, POS. So when I say you got to identify the goals of your POP, that is your point of purchase, and then your point of sale materials. Okay, you need to get their attention. You got to obtain their interest. You've got to get their desire to want to purchase that item or to purchase that product or service. And then, you got to prompt them to take action for that, to take action to make that purchase, or to, buy that service. So the next step is to produce your point of purchase and point of sale materials. They are produced in a sufficient quantity. You got to make sure that you have enough of whatever product or service that you're providing, that they're easy to read, clearly described, and you got to maintain, as always, your establishment brand image. And if y'all wondering why I'm squirming so much, all of a sudden I've got a cramp in my legs. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that personal tidbit so that you know this real person behind the scenes is my behind. I've got a cramp in my leg from sitting here. Also, you need to, when you produce your point of purchase and your point of sale materials, they should include a price or the terms if that's appropriate. They should include distinct, clear call to action. Distinct, clear call to action. Buy now. Pick up the phone. Deposit here. Those are distinct. Sign up, register, email. Those are distinct call to actions, okay? You got to train your staff. Make sure, again, in any good establishment, communication and training is key. All right, bottom line, communication and training is key. You must communicate with your staff so that they're on the same page with you. They understand your goal, the reasons behind. You got to communicate who's doing what. You've got to communicate with your managers, your employees, anyone who's involved with whatever promotion that you're doing. So anyway, with that being said, enough of that. You need to determine where you're going to display your point of sale products and your sales, your materials. All right, your point of purchase and the point of sale of your materials. Where are you going to display them? Are they going to be at entry doors? Where are you going to advertise them? Where are you going to hang your flyers? Where are you going to hang your signs? Where are you going to put whatever materials that you're using to encourage your buyers to buy, or things like that? I'm thinking strategically. A lot of people put things by the cash register, right? Every time you go to the cash, why do you think there's candy right at the cash register? Because you're standing there. That gives you a few minutes to look. And if you look and, oh my gosh, if you're a sugar addict or you're hungry, you're going to pick up and buy. So you need to determine where you're going to put it. Where's the best place? If it's employee related, guess what? Employees go to the restroom. Customers go to the restroom. Is it going to be an advertisement flyer insert into your menu? Again, you need to determine where you're going to display it. Evaluate it, and of course revise and replace material as needed. Now, monitoring. You need to meet regularly with your team, or the person that's in charge of doing this is probably usually a team because it's a good bit of work. You need to communicate. I've already said that. You've got to communicate, and then you've got to track the measures before, during, and after your promotion, okay? Make sure, I'm going to backtrack a little, revise and replace. If you notice that you have unclear wording, spelling, grammatical errors, which I'm sure some of you have just loved. It takes me forever to write a post, and look, I am not a grammar teacher, okay? So anyway, forgive me if you are very talented in that arena, but you do need to revise and replace material as needed, and correct any spelling or incorrect pricing or anything like that. Now, publicity, unlike advertising, publicity is for a restaurant and food service operation. It's free, all right? You can read through there. You cannot control that. There's nothing you can do about that. I'm going to backtrack. Yeah, there's something you can do. Make sure that you are communicating properly, fairly, that what you advertise is what you're delivering. And then hopefully everybody else feels the same way, and they're going to positively, give feedback in that same manner, okay? Media relations, like I said, that is someone providing public materials to the media and working with the media representatives. Choosing the right communication channel, that's important. You need to decide what is the right communication channel. Media professionals are always looking for a good news story. Many of them will be interested in developing a good relationship with a local restaurant or food service operator. Does the communication channel reach the manager's target market? Do these people, your media relation person, are they reaching your target market? Will they be interested in the stories that you suggest and submit, or are they only interested in putting out what they want to put out? Do they have a good relationship already developed with key personal media outlets? Otherwise, if your media specialist doesn't already have a good connection with local media outlets that are reaching your target market, you may want to think that. Can the public relations material available to the manager effectively compete for attention from the decision makers in the communication channel? If not, can the materials be improved to make them more competitive? So those are some things you need to look at. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole using effective media relations material. Bottom line is, if you hire a PR person, you're going to use that PR person. Just make sure you're being wise about the public relation group, individual, whatever that you're using, that they have your best interest, your establishment's best interest. Public relations objectives. Public relation objectives is to build name recognition. All right, the reason we build logos, we build all of this stuff is to build public relation. It's so that they can identify us. They can look at it and know who we are. It enhances trustworthiness. It lowers advertising costs. Guess what? Once people know who we are, we don't have to advertise so much. Strategies. You can read through the strategies there, public relations strategies. The owner, the chef, the location, history, products, all that's going to play a part in the public relations strategy. The service, public service activities to the community. Loyalty programs. Loyalty programs are designed to increase sales, frequency or customer visits, offer target promotions, offer special discounts, and enhance customer loyalty. So remember that. Their policies and procedures managers put into place to identify the specific ways an operation will reward its customers. Bottom line. Loyalty programs, or how are you going to reward your best customers? All right, so there's a lot that goes into that. I'm not going to read all of that. You can go through that yourself. How will the customer related data be captured? How will the program be administered? How will it be implemented? How will the information be recorded? In other words, how are you going to figure out who your best customer is? Let's go back to Brewster's. Brewster's rewards its best customer with a loyalty card, or now it's changed into an app, because you buy 10 and then they're going to give you one free. So they've identified the fact that you're going to come back enough to buy 10 ice creams, and then they're going to give you a free one. So what rewards will be offered? Developing community-based marketing programs, choosing the right organization or event. Again, if you look there on page 227, types of organizations offering community relations opportunities. There's schools, organization, chamber of commerce, clubs, animal welfare, welcoming YMCAs, local sports leagues. I'm not saying getting involved with any of those is a bad thing, but you really need to weigh out which ones you are going to get involved in. And again, I'm going to roll back to the Chuck E. Cheese thing. So if I were an establishment that solicits children, basically, parents of children, because Chuck E. Cheese is a kid-friendly environment, kid-friendly establishment, would I necessarily go to my Chamber of Commerce or, you know, get involved in special events with my Chamber of Commerce? The people that the Chamber of Commerce solicit to their market, is that a market that's going to be of value to my establishment? I want to say no. But yet, if you look at organization and clubs such as youth groups, guess what? That would be a great companion or partnership right there. That may be worthwhile for me to get involved with them, do special events with them, create special menus for them, whatever. That would be awesome right there. YMCAs have, you know, children activities, things like that. So again, that's kind of where you need to decide, not partnering with every community-based event or activity. Your heart may want to, however, or your specific compassions may want to, but you need to weigh out, is that going to be beneficial for your particular establishment? Is it going to increase your bottom line? Because like I've said many times, you're in business to make money. And we can be so kind-hearted, I hate to say it like this, but we can be so kind-hearted and may want to do for everybody and never say no to the detriment of our own establishment. And so you need to be careful with that. All right, well, that concludes this chapter. And wow, we only have 2 more to go. So guys, again, you're doing phenomenal. I appreciate the hard work that you're putting in behind the scenes. Again, know that I'm here. If you're struggling, if there's anything that I can do for you, please let me know. Otherwise, y'all have a great afternoon, and I will see you soon for Chapter 10. Bye-bye.